Chelsea. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad you could join us today. What we hope to do today is to provide you with some information in light of your impending layoff. What we do is work for under a program called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA, so we sometimes call it WIOA. And one of the things that WIOA does is it requires whenever there is a big layoff happening, we are mandated to provide information to those impacted by the layoff about benefits and resources that their tax dollars pay for to help them get reemployed and to access services that would be beneficial to someone who's facing a job layoff. Typically, the way this happens is we're notified by a company or an organization that they are doing a layoff. And today's a little bit unique in that my understanding is that you come from various organizations in various parts of the state. So we are going to present information about WIOA today and all of the services available to you. But if you have questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat pod as we go along. We'll spend about an hour hearing from various partners under WIOA, telling you about services, some that you may be aware of, like unemployment insurance benefits, and some that you may not be aware of, such as job training services, and some that you're curious about, like what happens to any retirement benefits that might be impacted, or what do I do about healthcare concerns at this point? So as we move forward, I'll kind of come in and do a transition in between presenters to move on to a different topic. And our first presenter, well, let me backtrack. WIOA, one of the other things that WIOA does is it sets up a network of services and providers to provide these services under WIOA. And here in Illinois, we call those Illinois WorkNet centers. And not only are these brick and mortar places you can walk into to get services, but we also have a pretty big online presence. And so today we have with us Representative Kathleen Brannigan from the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, and they are the primary agency who receives funding under WIOA to provide services in Cook County. But much of what Kathleen will tell you about is available in whatever county you live in. So with that, let me turn it over to Kathleen.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to say hello and welcome you to the webinar today. Annie has covered a lot of the overview information, but you know, we're here to help you through this transition, and that's what this webinar is all about. I want to point out here on Illinois WorkNet, which is a great tool, by the way, to utilize in your job transition. We want to point out that there is a specific layoff page for all of the statewide in-person counselors. It's listed under Illinois Health Matters. You're familiar with it now because you're here with us today. So we welcome you, and we would like to encourage you to share this information with all of your work counterparts, the other in-person counselors. We know we got a flyer out. We got it out through the Chicagoland Consortium, and we know that we had sent it out through communication channels throughout the state, but we would like to reach more people, have more people participate with us. So if you can share that information, that would be great. And again, information will be available on that statewide page. So make sure to stay tuned on that page. Continue to check in with us. So first, Cook County obviously is the big county in the state, and but this is a statewide event, so we're sharing information with everybody. We represent the WIOA grant. It is a grant that's facilitated by the Department of Labor, so it's a federal grant. And here in the state of Illinois, it represents the public workforce system for the state of Illinois. What you see here is specific to Cook County, so there's some information that may be of relevance to you, but the point is that there is this grant that is available, and it provides workforce readiness and training services that are available. Most times people, you know, when they move through this transition, their mind is on unemployment, health insurance, rightly so. We all have responsibilities, mortgages, etc. But the key part here is your next step in terms of employment, reemployment as you go through this transition. So a lot of times people are not aware of the, they're aware of, say, our public health care system, our public education system. They haven't been aware of the public workforce system, but it's been around a long time. We're happy to say it's been, it was reauthorized by Congress last summer into this new law, WIOA. So it's the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And it focuses on preparing people and helping people to obtain the skills and work experience and training that's needed for the occupations today. So I'm going to move forward and get into what dislocation means. Here's a little bit, here are some goals of the webinar. So again, we're providing information and resources. You are officially a dislocated worker. That's kind of the legalese to the law. But this law is meant to prepare you to reenter the workforce. The one thing I want to point out is that these services, these programs and services are available to all of you at no cost. You have already paid for them through your tax dollars. So we highly encourage, and you know, we want to see all people come into our workforce centers and access these services. So again, another goal of the webinar is to provide some information here to you. We always like to say this is the bridge to the path, you know, to help you get on the path and back to reemployment. So some quick information about the WIOA Act, available again under the Federal Department of Labor. It provides employment assistance, employment placement, as well as focusing on the key sectors in our region, which would be healthcare, which would be manufacturing, transportation, and logistics, information technology, retail, and hospitality. So it's wide and varied, but there are many occupations to choose from. So by accessing this program, you can learn about different key sector training initiatives that are underway in the state of Illinois. Again, this grant is a federal grant, but it's administered through our state Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, who then works with the different workforce innovation areas in the state, throughout the state. So what is a dislocated worker? So again, this is a situation, in your situation, you've been working through a state grant, and there were many agencies who were stakeholders in implementing the Affordable Care Act into the state of Illinois. And those were the people, for instance, health disability advocates, which you're probably familiar with. They were instrumental in helping to implement the Affordable Care Act into the state of Illinois. They've been very, very active in partnering with us to help provide this information to you and help you transition in this transition period for you. So we have been at work with them over the past year. We have provided in last year's, at the conclusion of the enrollment period, worked with them Some of you may have attended rapid response events prior to that, and then I know additional state funding was obtained. So many of you went back to work under that grant to continue to help in the enrollment periods. So we're at this point where we've been advised that the state grants are ending, and so now you may be in a situation that you need to move forward. The good news is you have very marketable skills. So this is something that other employers are asking for, and why it's even more important that you come into the Workforce Center and we can, get you connected with the services as well as the employers. So as you can see, this grant is designed to help job seekers access all these programs and services to help them succeed in the job market, to find a job that is sustainable, and as well as we're working with employers who are interested in this skill set. So how does the WIOA grant help you? So what's provided here is information on career services and resources. The important part here to know is that anyone, whether you're going through dislocation, whether you're, an adult who finds themselves needing some kind of literacy training, whether you're a youth or just a basic job seeker, people can access the Illinois WorkNet centers, we call them workforce centers, to access these services and to use that location as a venue for job search. Some people have a good sense of where they want to go. They're confident, self-directed. They have their resume. They have their contacts. They can use the Workforce Center for specifically to use computers with high-speed internet access. We have fax machines, copiers, printers, etc. So anyone, whether it be family members, neighbors, you can share that information with them. You can utilize the Workforce Center for some basic services that are listed here. It's also a place where it's centrally located. We have, in Cook County, have 10 main workforce centers. 5 are located in the city of Chicago, and then 5 are located in suburban Cook. We then have affiliated service providers that also have workforce center resource services. So the important part is to find one near you that is convenient. That's the important part. So as you can see, we have Resource Center. There is information about orientation sessions that would be specific to affected dislocated worker services. There's job search and placement information, the ability to access labor market and employment statistic information. Many times we will run workshops on training opportunities. We'll get into that a little bit. Supportive service. And then some of our offices have been partnered with the Illinois Department of Employment and Security, although that has quickly, over the past couple years, changed because many of those offices are closing, and our representative from IDES will talk a little bit more about that. But we are obviously information center, so we'd have information with regards to UI filing information. And then there's information about workshops, job clubs, hiring events that are all posted there. So it's a place of workforce development activities, and there is something there for everybody. So the first thing that you do need to do if you are interested in accessing these services is to attend an orientation event. At that orientation, they're going to do a deeper dive in terms of the documents that you need to bring back. Again, I want to point out that you're all eligible for the services under the WIOA grant for dislocated workers. So it's a matter of just bringing documents in and going through an application process. the important part here, overall, it has to do with the services provided, provide workforce preparation that are focused on career paths. So to go through application and become eligible for dislocated worker services, it will provide a comprehensive skill assessment, your skill assessments. It will provide an opportunity to work one-on-one with a career coach. And by doing that, you'll be putting together, you'll be developing an individual employment plan for you that's based on your skill set and your work experience, obviously taking into account where you want to go, what you want to target in terms of a job. And we can help you with that. That will be the continued work. So there are those things that are required for reintroducing yourself into the workforce. So it's developing a resume. You may or may not have that prepared. The cover letter, getting ready for interviews. And all of the workforce centers also have units that are called business services. And that is something that has been growing in Cook County. We've been working with throughout the network. All the agencies have what we refer to as job developers. These are individuals who go out into the various key sectors, develop relationships with employers, meant to provide a talent pipeline into those employers of skilled workers. So once you become a client of ours, we're going to take good care of you. Part of our work is to not only help you get prepared in the best way possible, but also to help you become placed in employment. So all these things, work together in sequence to help you become reemployed. So there's some additional information there that might be specific to a person. Everybody's different. Everybody needs different assistance, and we're also nucleuses in that area, in that region where that workforce center is. So we're well connected with our community partners. So literally anything that you're going through, whether it be a housing situation, if you need assistance with, to find a food pantry, whatever it may be, there will be a referral there for you, so we can help move you along and help assist you. The highest level of the WIOA grant has to do with training, and you might find that as you work with your career coach, you may have been thinking about training, you may have been thinking about going back to school. There may be some type of certification that you can obtain that will add to your skill set and make you more marketable. This would be the time to look into that. So within Cook County, and this is an important thing if you're outside of Cook County, I just want to point out, within Cook County, you can go back to school and we can support you in that and provide tuition subsidy up to $8,000 in Cook County. It may be different in other local workforce innovation areas, but in Cook County it's up to $8,000. And I do know it's different per area. So if you are from a different LWIA in the state, obviously we can help refer you to that Illinois WorkNet Center, but please note that the training dollars that are available to you may be different. The other thing I want to point out is this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. So a dislocated worker can access these training grants once in a lifetime. So if you have, again, been thinking about going back to school, you've obviously been working in healthcare. There are other, obviously a lot of other occupations that are in demand in healthcare. And if you've been thinking about it, this would be the time to go back. So again, once you come into the Workforce Center, there's opportunities for workshops that will provide much more information about training, program exploration, and determining what program might be good for you. Some of the other training services that are available would be on-the-job training, and that's an employer incentive to place people. Employers do training anyway, so it's a program that we offer through Business Services. Again, we focus on, very focused on our various industries that we have targeted in our region. You know, again, it's meant to skill upgrade and retrain. So these are some of the other things that are available to you, and once you get into that workforce center, we'll be providing more specific information on it. So you're all up on Illinois WorkNet. Again, you've registered, but this Illinois WorkNet is a great tool. You can access it 24/7. It's all self-directed. And as you see here, there's Find Layoff Worker Services. So it's here that you can locate the layoff page under Illinois Health Matters. This is where we are going to be posting additional information. And I will mention this at this time. We are going to be having specifically scheduled orientation workshops. We're going to be working with one of our service providers that is funded through the partnership, the Chicago Federation of Labor, the Workers Assistance Program. So we're going to be partnering with them. They have identified some dates for orientation, and we will be posting that information on the page for affected workers in Cook County. I will tell you that the first orientation date is April 26th, so I'll mention that now. So more information to follow on that. We've determined to have 4 different orientation dates, so more information will be forthcoming. But it's that kind of information that you can stay connected with on Illinois WorkNet. So it's a great online workforce portal, just tons of information, comprehensive, but whatever you're looking for or want to find out about, such as different resume formats, you know, finding more information about Illinois WorkNet, finding out more information about WIOA. Everything that we talk about today will be posted there. So great tool. Definitely use it to your advantage. You know, and again, there'll be more information on the Laid Off Worker Company specific page that we have set up for this, for your group here. A little bit more information. You know, again, we're encouraging to follow the step guide. I've talked a lot about that, but the point here is that you can research for a new career. And getting back to training, you can actually, the whole individual training program is now available on Illinois WorkNet. So if you're considering training on a specific occupation, you can go into that specific industry, that specific occupation, and find out information about training programs, and put together, you know, that plan, that budget plan, find out how much it costs, how long it takes. Maybe it's something that you've decided to turn the page and you want to move more clinical and become an X-ray technician. Well, what does that look like? Where are the jobs? What is the job forecast for that? So, you know, again, Illinois WorkNet can help you, guide you, give you the information to help you make that decision, you know, along with your career coach. So, again, there are workshops that are available to you in the workforce centers that will talk more about the training component of this grant. So, you know, definitely take advantage of it. You know, and again, available to you at no cost. So we highly encourage you to, you know, come and see us in the workforce centers. The one other thing that I wanted to point out too, as soon as you do whatever it is that you do, you get placed in a new job, you go through training and then get placed in a new job, we'll continue to follow up with you, you know, to make sure that everything is working out. It's our responsibility and our interest to, you know, place you in a job that we're hoping you'll be there a long time. So it's important for us to follow up with you to provide that counseling and coaching and supportive services so that you are successful. That's our goal. So, you know, again, we want to bridge you to the path, help you along the path, and then get you beyond the path, you know, to successful employment and a good career. If you are located outside of Cook County, this page is available on Illinois WorkNet to help find a workforce center near you. If you need that kind of assistance right now, certainly use the pod to the left and ask us, and we can get that information to you. So I've come to the conclusion of the section on the WIOA grant and the workforce development activities, again, an important component. And we want to thank you for joining us today. If you want to find out more information about the partnership, please access our website right there. My name is listed there, and you can certainly feel free to contact me or contact any of us. So we want to wish you the best of luck. I will be watching the pod for questions, and we will see you in the Workforce Center. Thank you.